Hello, chat. For once, I'm dressed for the occasion by default. Hold on, I'm gonna turn down the music because it's just on default. Yeah, a little more. There we go. That sounds better. Hello, Catnip. Hi, Owl. This is a game I have had my eye on for a while. So long, in fact, that I have played the demo, so I know the entire first case of the game. But that was years ago, so we'll see how well I remember it. But, this game is literally just Ace Attorney, but if it took place in a fantasy setting. It's not even trying to hide it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm supposed to click and drag. Yeah, that works way better than the mouse wheel. Anyway, case 1. I mean, I guess by the stream title, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. On them are a clash of souls, a story of swords and souls eternally retold, souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them. I'm still trying to figure out where I should put chat for this one. I cannot understate how much I love Ace Attorney. This is going to be like crack for me if it's good. You should check out Of the Devil. Reese Rudolph. Occupation, servant. Age, 34. Arcane art, none. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There, I saw the defendant. Dead. Wait, no, the other one was dead. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. And she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword.
Objection!
Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes. I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. In fact, I had to have a doctor look at it. My brain is scarred, man. I see. Well, it's funny you say that. How so? I'm a brain surgeon! Because your entire testimony was a complete lie! Oh, hell yes. Tyrion Cuthbert. Occupation, defense attorney. Age, 20. Arcane art, none. What?
Objection!
Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less homicide. He knows something. But on this battlefield, there are still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are these ideals truly just? Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders? Damn it. Damn it! Lennart, you fool! Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him? Alert the town guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter flee the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Episode 1. The Cold-Hearted Aristocrat. Tyrion seems to be even younger than Apollo Justice in his game. I do not know. But he is still older than Franziska von Karma when she started prosecuting, so... Earlier that day... You feel yourself slowly succumbing to unbearable pain. Mondays, am I right? You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer. Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? You look like you're about to pass out. Ruby Tamora, occupation attorney. I'm supposed to click. Don't worry about me, Mr. Tamora. I'm fine. You've been riding in this carriage for days. You are definitely not fine. With each bump in the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch. I'm perfectly fine. If you say so. You feel the carriage drive over a large bump in the road. You died. Paul Justice debuted at 22, just checked. Okay. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. That stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly as good the second time. On second thought. That's better. You take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't threatened to come back out. Sorry about this. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven. I suppose they don't get a lot of traffic here. You've been on the road with your mentor for days. Together, you've been searching for a man named Flintheart McCoy. Supposedly, he's been a voice of dissidence against King Oliver for the last few decades. You have no idea what kind of business Miss Tamora would have with him. But you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. Oh yeah, Miss Tamora is definitely going to live a long time, chat. Hello, travelers. Welcome to Cornhaven. A local merchant steps out from one of the nearby shops. He has a wide smile on his face. Are you sure about that one? And he approaches your carriage with the enthusiasm of a starving vulture. Ruby's got a death flag or 7. Yeah. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourself care for a refreshing drink? Those clothes, they must be from the city. Miss Tamora is definitely making it to the end of this case. She has a long and storied career ahead of her. She has a locket with her fiancé's picture in it. She's only 3 days away from retirement. Hey, Halloran. He certainly has a friendly expression, does he? But his thoughts seem very analytical. Well, I don't need a drink, but... Miss Tamora glances at you, and your stumbling rumbles in agreement. Ah, of course. I have just the thing for an upset stomach. With a carriage like that, I bet I could fleece them. For a lot. So we're arcane lawyers? Yes. Halloran, I cannot overstate that this game is just Ace Attorney if it took place in a fantasy setting. His thoughts and emotions are laid bare through your Eye of Horus. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. Yeah, Tyrion does not have magic, like, himself. I think it's only the nobility that has magic. No, it's not only the nobility, it's predominantly the Fuck, it's been several years since I played this demo. I think it is only the nobility, but my client was adopted. I think that's the case. I heard that lawyers were soulless, but I didn't realize that meant they sold their soul for magic. I've seen worse bargains. Deus, that's just Ace Attorney. Yeah, but I don't get to see the locks. That makes more sense than whatever the fuck Apollo is doing. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. Are you sure, game? Are you sure that he's smiling at me? At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw and swallow you whole like a snake. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? 50 You may find the price daunting, but this is organic and fresh-made apple juice. It's just store-bought juice. But I bet they can't even tell the difference. Okay, the art team and the writing team had a slight disconnect there. No, it's that this guy is an unnamed guy who we will never talk to again. And they probably needed to reuse this asset for a bunch of different unnamed guys we will never talk to again. So they didn't bother. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It's resting on a table inside the merchant's shop. It's suspiciously empty, chat. The store-bought apple juice is an important clue that will clinch this case. I mean, one of the first cases in Ace Attorney involved you summoning the spirit of a dead woman. You do that every case in Ace Attorney. Actually, correction, you don't do that in the first case because she hasn't died yet. Tyrion will make mental notes of notable clues he sees in the world, like random apple juice. These notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. You said it was silver, my man. Normally, the price wouldn't matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Oh, that was sick as hell. You've started an argument with another character. During an argument, your opponent will make claims that you need to respond to. Also, jam to this sick music. Responding correctly will lower your opponent's confidence. Responding incorrectly will lower your confidence. And once you run out of confidence, you will have to go home. I think you need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where's it made? It's produced by the hardworking people of this town, of course. I only trade organic products. In a small town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products. You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why would you have something like that if you only deal with organic products? Now, just one more thing and then I'll get out of your hair. You said that you only deal in organic products, but I couldn't help but notice. See, my wife, she really loves apple juice, can't get enough of the stuff, and she has particular brands, so I couldn't help but notice her favorite brand of store-bought juice is over there on your table. Now, how can you only deal in organic products if you've got store-bought juice over there? How did that get there? Make no mistake, I only have that because I wanted to see how my products compare to that of the city. And let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product. What an obvious lie. This juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. For certain claims, you'll need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Choose the correct response depending on the information seen. Logic, if your opponent is making shit up. Intuition, if your opponent is making shit up. Empathy, if your opponent is feeling some things. Sir, it's obvious that these flasks are only worth 5 How did you? I'm defeated, he explodes. Well, it's clear that you're a very shrewd man. Columbo. I was referencing Columbo. Right. Argument 1. I've successfully debated a man on the internet. I'm so thirsty. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Her eyes are fixed on the flasks of apple juice. How about 20 for 3 flasks? Of course, sir. Now to argue with a child. This starving urchin must be defeated. She was wrong on Twitter.com. Kill her. The Kingdom of Wyvengard, established several decades ago by the 7 High Archmages. Don't ask what they were high on, you don't want to know. The kingdom is currently ruled by King Olivier de Wyvengard and the mages of his nobility. The nobility will tell you that our marvelous kingdom is a land of prosperity and happiness and opportunity. A land where its people share the wealth and its succor provided by the kingdom's magic. Thank you. I haven't had anything like this in years. The child's passing thoughts tell you exactly how much succor this kingdom is sharing. I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. Well, I suppose I just have a good intuition for this sort of thing. Or did you use another kind of eye? Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. Try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. Right. Anyways, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly, the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. If my tip is correct, this should be the place. Wait, this is the McCoy Tavern? With the state it's in, calling it a tavern is being pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this is a secret meeting place for dissidents. Now that you think about it, maybe that's the entire point. The tavern has been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flintheart just uses it to host his rallies. Although I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat for this long. Hey, you! Fuck. Hey, you lot! The McCoy Tavern is closed! A gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. So the longer this goes on, the more convinced I am that none of this was in the demo. Now it has been, like I said, multiple years since I played this game's demo, which was this case. But I don't remember most of this happening. And they did state when that demo was released that even the story elements were possibly subject to change. And again, I could be wrong because it's been years, but I think this is new stuff, us arriving here in town before the murder. Because I remember Ruby having death flags, but not that it was implied she was an active dissident. If Tyrion isn't magic, how does he read minds? He has something called the Eye of Horus, which lets him read minds. I don't know if that's like an artifact or some sort of innate gift he was born with or whatever. He's eyeing you and Miss Tamora, a clear look of contempt on his face. I take it that you're Flintheart McCoy? I am. What of it? Flintheart McCoy, occupation unemployed, status very much alive. For now. Sorry for not writing ahead of time, but I'm Ruby Tamora. I wanted to speak with you. Ruby Tamora? Wait, the Ruby Tamora? No, common misconception. Any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. He lets out a laugh, as if he were meeting an old friend. Why didn't you say so? I literally did. Come on in! You didn't expect someone like him to know about Miss Tamora? You suppose it makes sense. They both fight against the same enemy. Albeit in different ways. What the fuck is happening in that picture in the back? What in the Final Fantasy fuck? Sorry about the mess. We haven't exactly been... Well, anyways, what brings you here? Actually, speaking of the Columbo reference, we did already see this guy get murdered and the murderer, and them setting up their alibi. So this is already kind of a Columbo episode if you think about it. It's not a spaceship, it's like a magical shield, and you can see there's a humanoid figure casting it. Yeah, like a woman summoning a spirit. I also want to get a good look at the painting that Flintheart here is standing in front of. I'll take it you didn't journey all this way out here to see my wrecked tavern. I mean, it looks kind of alright to me. I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition that you might be interested in. Is there anywhere we could talk more privately? Sure, the kitchen's empty. Wonderful. Tyrion, stay out here and look at the paintings while I speak with McCoy. What? Don't you need my help? Fuck you, Tyrion. I Like hell, there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to help her. You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. Objections should best saved for the courtroom. You slowly look away from her. Okay, so it's like a ringmaster. You spend some time waiting alone in the tavern's dining area. It's already been hours since Miss Tamora and Flintheart went to talk in the kitchen. You can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. Why was I even on this mission? But even from here, you can tell their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated. Looks like they're going to be a while. It's been hours already, man. Well, it's a good thing you always bring a chess set around. Chess? You bring out the small chessboard you've carried around since you were a child. Here's the Ace Attorney reference, chat! Chess can be played with one person, and you've always taken advantage of that. Checkmate. You win against yourself, this time as black. I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Statistically, white is more likely to win. Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud. So why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Hello? You still don't notice her, and you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them. Am I becoming overconfident as white because it has first move advantage? Or perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner. If a personal quirk is making me play illogically, then I need to correct it. Hey! Ah, what? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now. Oh, sorry. Do you know where my dad is? Your dad? Flintheart McCoy. I am his daughter, Celeste. Celeste McCoy. Occupation, mercenary. Oh. Flintheart is sticky as... Just kill me. Flintheart is speaking with my mentor right now. Uh-huh. Wanted to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done? I don't know. They've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. You hear Flintheart and Miss Tamora's voices getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. I seem to be focused on your chessboard. This is chess, right? You playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Keep saying Flintheart instead of Flintheart? Is there not a T? Am I crazy? Oh no. Oh, that's... You feel a judgmental stare. There's not a T? Oh no! Stream's canceled, sorry, chat. Nah, I'm kidding. Playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. Hey, I've got a time to... Really? Really, game? Hey, I'm not the time to shape a man for playing with himself. That's... Relax, I'm just joking. Anyway, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game? Oh, you know how to play? Like 5 seconds ago, you acted like you'd never seen it before. Sure, I've read about this before. She's read about it. This table's so dusty. Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table. She tries to set up her side of the board, but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them, confused. How do I arrange these things again? She is going to whoop my ass, chat! A part of you regrets accepting her challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now. Here, I'll arrange them for you. Thanks! Checkmate. I was convinced she was about to whoop my ass. You defeat her in 2 moves. Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? You decide against telling her what the name of that mate was. Rematch me! I want a do-over! Tyrion, it would be impolite to back out now. Also, Tyrion, I bet I can fool's mate this bitch. Sure, why not? It's not as if you have anything better to do. Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide on her next move. But she hasn't realized that the game is already finished. Here! She moves her knight into a position to attack your queen. It should have stopped your assault on her king, but checkmate. A scholar's mate this time. What? Come on! How do you keep doing that? You look at the closed door to the kitchen. There's no fucking tea! Linhart and Mr. Mora's discussion is becoming louder. It doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon. How much louder can they get? Again! I'll definitely beat you this time! For someone who has clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. Hold on, I just found a bug bite in a really weird spot. Like on the back of my shoulder? Can't even see the damn thing. How can you hear them over the jazz band? That is the jazz band. Them arguing. Well, obviously as things got more vigorous, they would get louder. It's impressive. She's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. With the way she's playing now, she could even defeat a nationally ranked noble. Checkmate. But even so, you've been playing this game for a lot longer than she has. You're always one step ahead of me. It's like you're reading my mind. As if you'd even need to. Just one more game. I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Mr. Mora emerges from the kitchen with Flintheart. They both look mentally exhausted. Looks like the negotiations didn't go well. Hi, Dad! Are they doing a Komogi reference? What, like Hunter x Hunter? I was going to do a Komogi reference from Hunter x Hunter. This move had 144 moves until checkmate. For this strategy to have worked, Tyrion would have had to predict all of them. Oh, hello, sweetie. Linhart looks irritated, as if someone had been mispronouncing his name all day. But as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides it behind a smile. You wonder what their discussion was about. What's this? Some kind of game? Mr. Mora glances at the pieces on the board. Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional. Is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm actually a defense attorney. An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way. Hey, sorry for your freezing you after coming all this way. I really respect what you're doing. I don't want anything to do with your mage friends. I'm sensing that she's sad. Only my magical powers could have told me this. You wonder what he meant by that. Is Mr. Moore trying to introduce him to one of our clients? Anyways, it is getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning. She's right. Sorry, Chad, that bug bite is, annoying me. It's somewhere I can't really see it. This region is littered with bandits and brigands. You wouldn't want to run into them this late. Guess you have a point. We have plenty of empty rooms you can stay in until morning. That's the least I can do after you came all this way. Well, if it's not too much trouble, might as well stay here until tomorrow. The tavern's shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. Of course you can't see it through the fur? Celeste and Flintheart leave the dining area to get your rooms ready. You're left in the dining room with Mr. Mora. So I take it negotiations didn't go well. Oh. I thought you were talking about the game. trying to figure out who was wearing, like, fur clothing. No, you meant me! No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against mages. Well, there is one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Flintheart is related to our clients, I can help. It wasn't important, and your presence was not necessary. That's such an obvious lie. You can't read a single thought from her mind. She's had years of practice hiding her thoughts from the eye of Horus. Celeste enthusiastically came back downstairs, but she seems to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Tamora. Sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Right. Thank you. Oh, wait, shit, that was Tyrion. Thank you. An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Tamora head upstairs. You reach the upper hallway and see the 2 rooms that Celeste had prepared for you. Miss Tamora stops before entering her room. We were playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. Sorry for leaving you there for so long. Didn't expect our discussion to last that long. She dragged me away on a several-day carriage ride, and then spent like 10 hours talking to this dude, and I don't know why she brought Tyrion with her. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoyed playing against her. It was the only positive I've had this whole trip. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. What? No, it's not like that. Come on, man, I'm fucking 20 years old. It's just that outside of tournaments, I never really get to play against another player. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. His shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy is what it is. It's worse than gungi. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. You sternly look at each other, your positions already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing. I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help, but there are some things about my work that I just can't tell you about yet. Surely I will have plenty of time to talk to you about these things later. But one day, I'll tell you everything. Right after I get married to my fiancé and retire in 3 days. Right, I'm sorry for crying. I just want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney. You are. I know you are. The rare praise from your mentor catches you off guard. Anyways, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. You completely forgot about the carriage ride back. You can already feel your stomach churning in protest. Okay, she might not make the night at this rate. We know she'll make the night because we already know the victim in this case. Oh shit, I didn't read that line. And as you close your eyes... I read it, I didn't read it out loud. And as you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Your mind drifts away, and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. Yeah, this definitely didn't happen when I played the demo. You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. You are asked to choose between a wand, a sword, and a shield. You're fairly certain that you're dreaming right now. The alternative is fucking spooky. But some instinct in the back of your mind tells you that something is fundamentally wrong about all this. Is that the fucking Eye of Horus? Is that where this is going? Oh, what the fuck? She's even animated. Choose the wand. Magic is always busted in Kingdom Hearts. You see a woman in the far distance. She's staring directly at you. Even if you are dreaming, this is still not good. Is that your inner girl? This is Tyrion after the estrogen shots. What presence? I guess it would be more like... What presence? She's murmuring something, but you can't... Oh, murmuring. Okay, it's not like... I thought it was like a shoddy connection, but murmuring makes way more sense. finally found... I finally found you, Heavensborn. You're jolted, wide awake. That shit was spooky. You can't exactly remember what that woman said to you. But whatever her words were, they sent a piercing chill down your spine. Your breath is heavy and your heart is beating at 100 miles per hour. Calm down. It was just a dream. No more watching Future Diary before going on long carriage rides. At least, that's what you try to tell yourself. Please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they possibly be arguing about at this hour? Chat, there was a spooky space yandere in my head. I need you guys to stop being queer and lock in. I know it's Pride Month, but we've got bigger problems. I want you out of my house! Ow! A dead silence lingers in the air as Celeste points out that this is a tavern and not the house. This does not win her any awards, and she leaves because it got awkward. It was a pun, Owl. Don't acknowledge it. Whoever left slams the door behind them. What was that all about? It's none of your business. You only met those two today. It would probably be best not to get involved in their affairs. But as you tell yourself that, a brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind. Damn it. Ooh, I really like this lights out alternate version of that previous background. You slowly make your way out of your room. The hallway is nearly pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. On what? Oh, on him. You run into Flintheart, who is... Called him in again. You run into Flintheart, who is slowly walking up the stairs. Even this close, it's hard to see his expression in the darkness. Sorry, I just heard... Right. Forgot you two were. His words trail off. Is everything okay? I'm going to assume that's a no. Sorry, I'm just going with you. You awkwardly shimmy past Flintheart to head down the stairs. He does not move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. God, that's so fucking funny that he doesn't move. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere, which is normal because you can't see fucking shit. Honestly though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is. So this is how we do the murder scene was too dark to see? I mean, it comes up in the demo as just like part of the investigation. But like, they are really establishing that you cannot see fucking shit. Celeste? Are you still here? You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam the front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance. Celeste? No answer. Celeste, where are you? Fuck! I didn't think this guy was ever coming back! The merchant you spoke with before comes out of his shop holding a lantern. He appears to be irritated by all the noise you've been making. Oh, you're that kid from before. You have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this. Right, sorry. I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy, she's Flintheart's daughter. The merchant's expression becomes a little colder. Do you know them? Buddy, this is a small town. He knows their social security numbers. What do you want with that bastard? That damn mage. What? Those two probably woke up half the street with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up too. If I hear any more noise, I'm going to call the town guard. Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back into his home in a huff. You look around, you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching. I can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this. I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart. You! Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Luxo? What are you doing here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home? You've been busy lately. Your little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking. And what? You came all this way to convince me to stop? You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family. Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off King Oliver's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you. Linhart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you this one time. Friend? Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Damn it. Damn it! Flintheart, you fool! Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Skilled Lord! What did you... You killed him! I forgot both of their voices. Alert the town guard. Tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure the neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Well, Flintheart, that can be arranged. You've been searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been outside? 2 hours? 3? However long it's been, it's clearly taking a toll on you. Where is she? What am I going to do now? You hear a faint voice. Could it be? Oh! As you peer behind an old tree, you finally find her. Ah, if only there was an attorney who saw them both alive after Celeste had already left. Yeah, except for the bit where he didn't find her for 2 hours, so she technically had time to go back there, kill him, and leave again. She looks just as tired as you are. Probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up? Yeah. Is everything okay? It's nothing. It was just an argument. But from the way she reacted, this is clearly not common. You suppose that it's none of your business. You decide not to pry further. Have you been looking for me all this time? I have. Thank you. I'm okay now. You should head back. What about you? I think I'm going to stay out a little longer. You know that you should mind your own business, but I'm sure whatever happened between you two. I'm sure that whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes Miss Tamora and I get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we were always able to talk through it. Sorry. I know it's none of my business, but I just... No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. She is really feeling the entire spectrum of emotion right now, huh? You're right. Let's go back. What? You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern, but it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor. Is that the Inquisition? What? The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic. As you say the word crimes, You and Celeste share a glance and come to the same realization. Both of you rush towards the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin. What? No! No! She reaches the tavern before you, and before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. Nobody expects the Arcane Inquisition! Whatever she saw makes her cry out in anguish. She drops to the ground in tears. There she is. Celeste McCoy. By the authority of the Wyvern Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. On seeing Celeste, one of the knights steps forward and grabs her. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing the commotion, 3 other knights rush to grab her and begin dragging her away. She kicks and screams against them, desperately trying to break free. Even between the 3 knights, it's taking all of their strength to subdue her. What are you doing to her? What's going on in here? Tyrion! Mr. Mora approaches you. You breathe a small sigh of relief when you see that she's okay. Mr. Mora! I should have known that he was one of yours. Just stay out of our way. Mr. Mora, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here? I'm surprised myself, but from what I understand, Flintheart McCoy has been murdered. Murdered?! We are 20 minutes into this game, and we have had very little gameplay. I guess that's why they had me do that little bit at the beginning where I argued about the apple juice, because, like, goddamn. You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Mr. Mora, Celeste was the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder. And due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic. So why is Celeste their prime suspect? Had to wet your tongue somehow? Apple juice did the trick, I guess? Lame. Could she be a mage? If only the text box had told me that her arcane art was transmutation. Maybe then I would have known. This is ridiculous. She has the right to speak to an attorney. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle. A very frustrating one. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. The trial's in an hour! How has she not been processed yet? I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that's a complete lie. It said none for Ruby, but no, on Celeste it said Arcane Art Transmutation. So you're really planning on defending her? Do you know if she can even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw them, didn't you? There was no way she would murder her father like that. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but... A magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. Attorney's runestone. This is... an attorney's runestone? If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these ever since you were a child. It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys. Hailer, the reason I haven't been acknowledging you is because I've played the demo and I know where this case is going. And the answer is that not only is there a fuck ton of corruption, but it's like majorly plot critical. So I haven't been acknowledging you complaining about the corruption because we're gonna get there. The devs absolutely included references for you, presenting it to absolutely everyone. We already saw the murderer? I mean, yeah, but we didn't see the crime, and Tyrion didn't see the murderer. Related note, what flowers do you think Miss Tamora wants at her funeral? I don't know why you'd ask that, since she's going to live a long, happy life. Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyways, keep one thing in mind. Should have been more like, don't cry, Cuthbert. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Damn it. You knew that they'd try to get in your way, but you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. What's with all the noise? You're that knight from the tavern. That's Commander Orem White to you, kid. Orem White. Occupation, knight. Age 64, arcane art, none. I had a feeling tomorrow would be sniffing around this case, but I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander! Commander, he says he wants to talk to the mage. And she's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. The hell kind of bullshit are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot! Heard that Miss Tamora just won an all-expense-paid trip around the world, valid right after she retires. She's gonna go to the Caribbean! She's gonna go to Disney World! He's a white knight? The knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon. For something built in the capital, it looks extremely old and decrepit. Prisoners are upset about it. You pick up on the negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. It's heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. You've never felt this much concentrated despair before. So he was born with the Eye of Horus. I feel like White is going to be a gruff but fair and not corrupt person. I mean, he's basically this game's Gumshoe. Let's just not beat around the bush. This game knows what it is, we know what it is, he's Gumshoe. It's you! Celeste is lying down on the cold floor. She's lying on the cold, hard floor. Trouble. But she immediately gets up as soon as she sees you. What are you doing here? Miss Tamora told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. Arcane art, transmutation. It's right there, chat. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? Why are they blaming me for it? I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? There's no sense in hiding it anymore. Yes, I am. Do you have noble blood? Of course not! Why would you say that? Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. And she finally finishes training you. She can finish her dream of being a mentor. You know she isn't gonna die this case, right, guys? We're cracking a lot of jokes for something that's not gonna happen until next week. At the earliest. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flintheart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It would probably be best not to push the matter further. Anyways, you were probably arrested because you're a mage. What? Excuse me? The crime was committed using magic, and you were the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell! The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They only care about closing their cases. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. Like, now. You're going to be brought before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything! Damn it. They weren't even planning on telling her? If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial. Right. I forgot you were an attorney. Would you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. But they're a part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? It's hopeless. Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. Sorry. It's just something I have a habit of saying. No, don't apologize. You better say that to every client in this game. I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear this entire situation is bittersweet for her, and because of the Inquisition's delays, you haven't had any time to investigate the crime scene. Fuck it, we're going in blind. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt whether or not you can really do this. Everything is happening so fast. It feels unreal. No, you had to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. So she's 100% the stand-in for Phoenix's female partner? Yeah, she is going to be this game's Maya Fey. No matter what happens, you'll acquit Celeste. A courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. She already has a habit of being framed for murder. Let's go! Actually, entering the courtroom has taken a lot of wind out of your sails. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Mr. Moore's assistant. Arya Steelwind. Occupation, prosecutor, age 18. Arcane art, evocation. The woman at the prosecutor's bench is staring at you. Mr. Moore mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? I think it was Arya Steelwind. Name, Arya Steelwind. Occupation, prosecutor. You can feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? You trying to intimidate you? Because it's working. He looks like a Fire Emblem character. You know what game we're in, right? Everyone looks like a Fire Emblem character, with the exception of Tyrion, because he had to wear the suit. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. It doesn't necessarily sound very ready. Regardless, let us proceed with the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Wait, did she say... Wait, fuck, that's Tyrion. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Oh, right. That's not exactly the first occupation you'd choose. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see. So there was magic involved. I was beginning to suspect that the Inquisition was just fucking with me again. Yes. The crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance, and it was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. I've got the autopsy report, chat! You know what that means? Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wound shows heavy traces of transmutation magic. Fuck! Celeste's sword, the alleged murder weapon. It's an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. Chat! We've already found a contradiction! Can't wait for it to be updated. Can't wait for the updated one to be delivered in 5 minutes. Sorry, I misread your chat message twice. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. I see. What an unfortunate turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orem White. I'm the commander of the Arcane Inquisition. You can tell because I have no fucking magic. Orem, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation? Yeah. Witness testimony. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and the defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. The argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. A call? They have fantasy phones? I can take a video record using my attorney badge. We are well past having fantasy phones. Is that really isn't that really incriminating? One of her possessions is the murder weapon. Shit! Mr. Cuthbert, please calm the fuck down. Sorry, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. You can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank. Mr. Cuthbert, please lock in. Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry, I don't... Your anxiety is just getting worse, and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Tamora today. But it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. You have jack shit! Yep, this case is pretty open and shut. No, wait! This isn't what's supposed to happen. A video with a magic art of in fact given to people with a specific profession and widespread communication on a large scale is not the same thing. You remember that they have mass-produced juice, right? I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Tyrion Cuthbert, occupation defense attorney, aged 10! You changed one of these things. You should have changed the other one. Are they going to execute her? No, not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again? Tyrion. Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic. You need to calm down and lock in. Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation, but she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to... Stop! Just listen to me. I need you to be goated with the sauce. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. What? I don't know. You were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces? That doesn't make any sense. And yet... You take a moment to focus. Let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement that he made. Every word that came out of his mouth. Each of those is a possible weakness that you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is locked in. Very well. There we go. Thank God that worked. Yes, just play with their lives like they are chess pieces. That isn't concerning behavior. I could be gambling with them the way that Phoenix Wright does it. Or the way that Counselor Morgan does it in Of the Devil. Chat, check out Of the Devil. Once you do that, present the yeah. Tutorial shit, I know. Cross-examination! Well, I've already spotted the contradiction, and it's that he's full of shit. And its sword was still inside of... Pressing that statement. How did you know that the sword was my client's? Your sword is made out of some kind of special alloy. It was forged out of the country. Heard me mistake something like that. We also have several eyewitnesses who verified that the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite to the contrary, she was proud to show it off. But even if the sword belongs to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, well... Oh shit, I didn't mean to go that far. I found the contradiction, I just need to figure out how I can do it. Which of these buttons is my notes? Probably the book. was that he was stabbed with a transmutation, but her sword has no magical properties. Actually, who fucking discovered... Yeah, there. Who discovered the body? At what time did you get this call? And who discovered the body? The call came in at 1:25 a.m. As for the witness who discovered it, he wanted to remain incognito. It's not unusual for a witness to stay anonymous. It's well within their right. But this would be a lot easier if you could question the witness directly. Fuck, excuse me. This would be a lot easier if you could question the witness directly. What happened when you arrived, Commander? That's conjecture! Weren't there plenty of people around who could have committed the crime? That tavern has been closed for years. The defendant, the victim, and Ruby Tomorrow were the only ones there before the body was discovered. Plus, the murder weapon definitely belonged to her. Yep, that's the statement. What do I fucking present? The autopsy report.
Objection!
Objection! You're full of shit! Fuck! Objection! You're full of shit! This is with only a fraction of my power, chat! Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? Yeah. This was the very first time. So I'm sure they'll introduce penalties later. But yeah, obviously the contradiction is that it was a non-magical sword and the wound was magical. I didn't know which bit I needed to point to for them to get that. Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. But you're full of shit! I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't possibly have been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. Also, we have a new victim. Dartost has been murdered. Get that shit out of here! It states that the fatal wound had traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it is entirely mundane. That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find it quite strange as well. Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward. The hell are you talking about? The defendant is a damned mage! She could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself! No. If anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her!
Objection!
Fuck! Don't get ahead of yourself. What? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. That's my job! Shut the fuck up. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. I can't take the jury PNG seriously. They're no worse than the Ace Attorney ones. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. The defendant over there, her spell compendium, has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. Are you ready for where this game fucking pops off, chat? Because I get to look at the spell compendium. So her spell compendium contains the spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magical device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. That means she can only cast that one spell. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you? No, I left it at the tavern after... well, you know. If you can't look at the description for Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him. Press. Press. It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. I didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all. That theory is a little far-fetched, but you'll need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. Why would she go through the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Ain't that right, Arya Steelwind? Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? Yes, Halorid, because the sword was stabbed in after, but he was stabbed from the front, and we have to get to that point later. This is Ace Attorney. You're gonna notice contradictions before they're important. We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. It was just on the wound. The fact of the matter was the magic was present at the crime scene. Like, kind of like if they found traces of the sword itself in the wound. That sort of thing, I assume. Do you have any evidence of the contrary? You don't. Yet. What part of means, motive, and opportunity don't you understand? This is Ace Attorney. Nobody gives a single fucking shit about motive until you accuse someone, and then they're all gonna be up in my ass about it. They never need to establish fuck all! Stab from behind. That spell, press. If she used spells like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground? How so? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene, and we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just like you said. If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Fuck, she didn't even see this shit. Oh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention? There was no need. The entire case is open and shut. I remember this bit. I remember this bit. You've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels different now that the body is of someone you know. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But the shape is a little weird, isn't it? Are you ready, chat? There it is! What was that just now? Oh, you stupid bitch! Objection! You're full of shit! I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you've presented another glaring contradiction. Oh yeah? And what's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front? Am I correct? Yeah. You can see it plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front. But the autopsy report says that he died from a stab from behind! What?
Objection!
Fuck! ignore him. You were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than that damn mage. It didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them. Order! Order in the court. Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. Excuse me. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy! Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client, but they made a careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side. Fuck! It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you've still got ahead of yourself. Miss Steelwind? I believe that Miss Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case. Oh, did he now? Let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did? That's literally not my job. How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out. Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence. But one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this. Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town. And that mage is your client! What? The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. She still really doesn't have a case, I'm gonna be honest. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable because it's full of holes. Like my mind. What day is it today? But there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant. Damn it, you almost had them. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. So, Halloran, you're forgetting the bit where I have to prove someone was there. Halloran, this is an Ace Attorney case. This is just how things happen. You need to calm down and accept that I have to do the entire work of the whole justice system. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Fuck you all, get out of my house. Hello, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you're greeted by Miss Tamora. Miss Tamora, you're here? You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. You feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that. Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. It's your termination notice. You have been fired. Oh, hell. I got her spell compendium. Mage Blade. School, Transmutation, Incantation, Arcane. Gesture, none. Duration, 1 minute. Concentration, yes. Yeah, I didn't say anything before. All of the spells are basically just D&D spells. Chat, do you want me to let you in on a little secret? This case has a second spell compendium. My spell compendium! I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it'd be best for you to have it. So, this is your spell compendium. And it only has one spell. We established that. Mage Blade. This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? You can still remember her ripping glare. It gives you chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. Really? I thought that her inexperience would make her a good first opponent. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they are one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take the high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. I just told you they're a prominent political family. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right, now that I have the time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely, about that argument you had with your father. Oh. You see the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait. I hope she's her Edgeworth, because her hat is... Whoa, can we say that on Twitch? I'm pretty sure she's the Edgeworth, yes. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you because you swore in Twitch chat, and now I will be demonetized. Ah, jokes on Twitch, I wasn't monetized anyway. Bringing up her argument with Flinthert may have struck a nerve. RuPaul's Drag Race is giving new meaning. I mean, I fucking swear all the time. I don't give a shit. I'll also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. This is exactly why Deus told us to stop being queer and shout and like and shaking my head. Right, there are still lots of things we don't know about. Like that random woman who appeared in my brain. Tyrion, what the fuck are you talking about? As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened tonight, it's you. Fuck it, I'll use multiple save slots. I don't give a shit. Fucking chalk outline. You arrived back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. With that circle, you could magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantaneously. Some critics suggest that this actually creates a duplicate of you at the end of the portal and destroys the original you. But I mean, that's a question for philosophers, and the convenience can't be denied. How many save slots are there? I don't know. It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? My fucking job! Commander White takes notice of you as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene. I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have just as much right to investigate this crime scene as you do. Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. As if I'd help the likes of you. I saw who your boss is, and I know what you're up to. That witch probably sent you here to con me. What? I'm just looking for some information. A likely story. Book 'em, boys! He was cooperative before when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today? In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. If you want his help, you'll need to persuade him through an argument. It helps to prepare before starting an argument with someone. Talk to Orym or present items to him to build a psychological profile for him. If you successfully fill the gauge, you'll receive more information during any arguments against him. Look at this photograph. I had to try it, chat. He was just like, what the fuck, man? The autopsy report seems to be pretty detailed in some aspects and vague in others. Why is that? I'm not sure about the details, but the autopsy is performed by a mage who studies divination. That magic gives us details about how someone dies, but there's always a few blind spots. Blind spots? Like what? Well, for one thing, if someone mucks around with the body after the death, the report becomes muddled. Like if, hypothetically, you shove a sword into a corpse. That can't be worse than Dr. Hadi? True. Divination magic can tell what happened to a body, but not in what order and at what times. But somebody definitely stabbed Flintheart's body with Celeste's sword. What he's saying is true. It'll be that much harder to figure out what kind of weapon originally killed him. Look at this sword. Where the fuck did you get that? This mage's sword really is strange. It's almost a shame that we had to confiscate it. Is it really that abnormal? It's definitely not like any kind of sword I've seen. Halerin, we are not starting that debate. I wonder if it was forged in the Eastern Kingdoms. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. That was a dated joke and you should feel bad. I've never seen a real spell compendium before. I'm still not exactly sure how they work. Well, spell compendiums are magical devices that display exactly which spells a mage can cast. You can probably guess, but the Inquisition uses these things all the damn time. Right, having that information is definitely a blessing for the defense and the prosecution. The Inquisition. So, what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly? You're trying to pick a fight with me? No, I'm just genuinely curious. Well, I'm sure you already know, but us Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic. Do crimes like this happen often? Nah, maybe once in a blue moon. Makes sense. Most mages are in the nobility, after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make a habit of getting into trouble with the law. You must have an easy job, then. You got that right. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. He doesn't seem that happy about that. Mages. Commander White, you seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal grudge against mages? You're damn right I do. Wow, you didn't even try to deny it. And if you had any sense, you would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense, and you suddenly have a dead body on the ground. Honestly, Law & Order D&D would make an awesome show. Well, you best start believing in Law & Order D&D, Halerin, because you're living in one. And don't get me started on Mage Blight. If some noble uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage. I don't know if this is going too far. Why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that, that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug. Sorry, I didn't mean to insinuate. No, you have the right of it. I'm 64 years old, kid. I don't give a shit anymore. Anytime a noble's involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way. You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work? Pays well. Because every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least they were before your boss showed up. Boss? Does he have something against Miss Tamura? Well, get the fuck out of my way. I have shit to look at. I want you to join the circus! It's a painting of a man in a suit. There's some text on it. Adam Evele, politician of the pedantic. I've heard of this guy. I love that his sprite popped up behind the painting. I have good news for Commander White about Miss Tenora. Is it that she's going to Disneyland? Heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nation's worst to hear. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they have going there. Election? Was Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution? I did kind of wonder about that we live in a monarchy, but these guys are having an election. She's fucking exploding! Way to go, team. It's a painting of a mage, and there's some text on it. Samala Degalian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts. He mysteriously disappeared one day. I'm gonna be honest, Chad, I don't think it was that mysterious. It's rumored that he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. You're right, Catnip, it was the trans rights explosion. The transmutation rights. We're getting Celeste off the hook. However, he was reckless in casting the spell, and Degalian quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't actually die during the accident. But if that's true, where did he end up? Chat, come on. I'm not even gonna make the joke. You're already making the joke in your heads. I know you. I told you to lock in and you refused. I know you. Sounds like a cautionary tale against you using magic. That might explain why Flintheart keeps it in his tavern. It's a modern-looking lamp mounted to the wall. It's a lamp powered by artificery. See, Catnip? I told you I didn't even need to make the joke. I didn't expect to find something this sophisticated in a town like this. Artificery is just another form of magic. Actually, artificery draws from the surrounding ley lines to shut the fuck up, nerd! Anyways, look what the artificery got these folks. That arcane power cell broke, and they haven't had any power for weeks. Yep, nothing can beat good old oil and flame. That seems important, chat. The Inquisition lit some candles. I already know why they didn't use the lamp. I do not remember these paintings in the demo. Anyway, let's look at this thing. There's a broken bottle on the floor. It shattered close to the chalk outline of the body. The label has the words lotus juice on it. There's a chance you can be queer and make bad jokes. You can bet I'll lock in on that. Ah, that's fair. I'll handle the lawyer bits. I never heard of that brand before. Must be foreign. I do have one complaint about this case when I played the demo years ago. And it's that... I'll wait until it comes up. We are locked in days. We've locked it on the queerness. I've noticed. Happy Pride. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. He died with his arms in different directions. Fucking wild. Nothing seems out of place here. Present. Look at this battery. This place has been without power for a week. We gotta end Pride Month with a bang after all? Yeah, like that explosion over in that painting. I wonder if there's any information I can infer from that. I'm using candles to keep the place lit. This is exactly why you can't rely on magic. I really thought that would fill out his profile. I wonder what lotus juice is. It's definitely not any drink I've ever heard of. That must be some kind of imported brand. Aha! I too am excited for that, Halerin. I have to ask. Did something happen between you and Miss Tamora? Miss Tamora? What are you, a lackey or something? No, actually, she's my guardian. Oh. I didn't even know she had a... Look, kid. I don't know what the deal is between you two. But no good will ever come with associating with her. This is about the rumors, isn't it? Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Miss Tamora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of illegal activities. It's clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it, but you can't help but get angry on her behalf. It's more than just rumors. I've seen it for myself. That woman is evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil, she's a hero. Yeah, whatever. Profile complete. Let's talk to this bitch. Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you, and you have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up this misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you. Start an argument. God, that looks so fucking sick. Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Do you have a problem with me, Commander White? Commander White is stubborn and stuck in his ways. He seems to have a grudge against Ruby Tamura and will react negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you? Ruby Tamura is a crooked lawyer. Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elocute to convince the opponent that their claim is wrong. When prompted for an elocution, choose from one of the 3 possible responses. The correct response can be gleaned from reading your opponent's psychological profile. You have no right to throw baseless accusation against me or Miss Tamura. Whatever you think she's done, you're wrong. Ha! You're either a good liar, you really are that naive. The woman's hands are dirty, and nothing you say will change my mind. Fuck! Right, he doesn't like it if I defend her. Regardless of what Miss Tamura has done, I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, they have nothing to do with me. Fuck! My confidence! Shit! I said you wouldn't change my mind! Confidence meter, go back up! You can't do this to me! It still doesn't change the fact that you work for her. I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady shit in the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. She once shot a man and ate him in the courtroom. You name it, you're just another crook. I'll bet you're just the same. A successor for the devil of defense attorneys. Fuck you. I love how it looks like he's actually looking at the bar. Yeah, him looking to the right really benefited for that gag. I'm not Ruby Tamura. It doesn't matter if the rumors are true or not. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. You fuck! Get back here, confidence meter! Look, kid, I'd like nothing more than to believe you. But my confidence meter isn't going to deplete itself, you little bitch. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better. I have no reason to trust you. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook. You've made accusation after accusation against her with nothing to prove it. You have no proof that she's a crook, and you sure don't have any proof that I'm one either. Like I've been saying, I don't need any proof. I've seen how she works, and I don't have any proof that you're different. Fuck. I thought I was defending myself. Right now, I'm just a defense attorney that's asking you for information. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Fuck! My confidence! You've shattered it! You just want some info, right? Yes! That's all I'm asking for. Alright, I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. Hooray! Murder weapon! This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that sword is the murder weapon. Tyrion, hey, can you do your job? Or I'm White, I'll kill you! All he is asking for is what you are legally mandated to tell him anyway. This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that sword is the murder weapon. What if I kill you with it? Right. I guess you have to prove that someone else put the sword there. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? We found a corpse, kid. What do you think? If you're asking if we found another bloody weapon lying around, we definitely didn't. That'd be a little too convenient, wouldn't it? Let's say the girl really is being framed. If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it. Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well. They fucking ate it. Or they hid it in plain sight. I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake during your investigation. Watch it, kid! I'll shut it with that. I already got an earful from Steelwind about that mess. Well, you don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Steelwind's basically taken over the entire investigation. Wait, does she have the authority to do that? Normally she wouldn't, but she threatened to eat me, so I backed off. Wait, I've seen this. The blood is actually the murder weapon. You know, the funny thing is, Halerin, you're very close. Like, reminder, I know this case. I've played it before. I've forgotten some of the details, but I remember how the murder happened. You are alarmingly close. Right. There's definitely a strange power dynamic between them. Honestly, that girl sweats the details too much. She even had my men drop a scaled map of the crime scene. Wait, really? Do you have a copy? Sure, knock yourself out. Starts banging his head against it. No, stop, kid! Murderer transmuted their arm into a sword. I'll give you guys a hint. We've already seen the murder weapon. Don't know how much good it'll do you. Crime scene map. Let's take a look. 5 foot squares, chat! Arya Steelwind. I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. A pain in my ass is what she is. That damn noble comes in here, telling me how to do my job. I honestly have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. I heard she's from a renowned noble house. She must be a pretty powerful mage. Powerful is an understatement. The Steelwinds who came before her could turn this entire town into a glass crater. What? There's no way that's true, right? You think you found everything you can here. What does it all mean? There's no murder weapon to be found. Actual answer is probably that the murderer transmuted the booze in the broken bottle into a spiker sword and stabbed it from behind. Possible. And there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Hey, you okay? You got quiet all of a sudden. Alright, just focus. Close your eyes and let everything disappear from the world. Hey, kid, wake up! Hey, you listening? So, there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death. What? What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death? Move after the murder. No, there was no blood. Come on. There's no blood trail from where Flintheart's body is. The lack of a blood trail tells us something important. Namely, where Flintheart was throughout the murder. Okay. I feel like that should have counted, chat. But I do appreciate that kind of deduction minigame. I've seen it in the Detective Grimoire series and the Duck Detective series, and it's good. It's good. Because it gives you enough options that if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you're not gonna just guess your way into it, but it's structured enough that if you've almost figured it out, you can get the rest of the way there. Flintheart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from this position at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's also the autopsy report, which says that he died from a stab from behind. Isn't there a detective thing that requires you to run through a maze? That sounds like some Danganronpa bullshit. Oh! You're probably thinking of Master Detective Archive's Rain Code. Which is yes, but also no. It's basically a series of... Well, how do I put this? It's a bunch of different Danganronpa-style minigames and yes and no questions. But you are inside of a mystery labyrinth. It's also notable for having much better writing than Danganronpa. And I say that because it was the Danganronpa guy who wrote it. There's also the autopsy report, which says that he died from a stab from behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. That means that attack happened at the exact position he fell over. Oh, I could just check this mid-conversation. Fuck you. Victim's body. There's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. How did the bottle shatter? I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle's right next to the body. Ah. Interesting. Linhart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that we can infer he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. Updated. What's so strange about one bottle, though? Oh, you put together the... Okay. I misunderstood your comment for a moment, Owl. Congrats on building the snail feeder. It may seem like an insignificant detail, but that detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder. Right. There's also the fact that the artificery lights were out. Were these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orem? No. We had to light some so we could see the damn crime scene properly. We thought it was weird, too. The girl and the father must have had their argument in pitch-black darkness. What can we infer about the state of the crime scene? So they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. The other thing that I really like about this in this game specifically is that in Ace Attorney, I would have had to do all of that in court. But here I got to point out those details ahead of time so we could just get to the contradictions when we make it to the courtroom. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have had a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and was probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself. Or maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart. Kid? Why, the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted by something? Kid! What? What was that all about? Sorry, sometimes I just get lost in my own mind palace and solve the whole case. Yeah, well, cut it out. You're freaking me out. Right. Anyways, you think you found everything you can here. You should move somewhere else. Now, unless I missed... Oh, there she is. If people keep seeing you here, they're going to make assumptions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. While heading upstairs, you spot the prosecutor having a conversation with someone. They seem to be in some kind of argument. Enough. I will do as I see fit. You may be a Steelwind, but this is my land. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're that defense attorney from the trial. I am? I'm sorry, but... Ooh. How rude of me. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. They named him Pierce! Ace Attorney lives on, chat! Name, Garrick Pierce. Occupation, nobleman. Age, 38. Arcane art, transmutation. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial. As misguided as it may be. I suppose that you also think my client is guilty. It does not matter what I think, Lieutenant Columbo. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility and the nobility alone. It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that that bastard child has tainted that symbol in the public eye, all of that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all of this. Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, lest the public accuse the justice system of corruption. So you're saying she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free, despite a myriad of the evidence. That alone would be enough to cause public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as is. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? Well, if you wanted to keep your right to rule, maybe you want to keep it in your pants and also not use your magic for dumb shit. Yeah, That would have required smarts in the nobility. But, like... Chat, let's be honest, there's inbreeding going on, right? Like, magic's inherited, the nobles care about their nobility and keeping the magic in the nobility. They are inbreeding. I can't wait to take down his smug ass. Neither can I, and I've already done it once. That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it. What? The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. Then why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father? It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. It does not, but carry on. I mean, in this genre, there's a non-zero chance everyone except the protagonist has lead poisoning. You should fight according to your own ideals, just as I will fight for mine. I do appreciate that this is still better than Edgeworth on his debut being like, I must get every single person declared guilty or the actual criminals will get away with it. There's no way of knowing who is and isn't guilty. This is far better. There's a reason he only had that attitude for like one case. It's hard to get a read on that woman. Examine. Why are these torches on? There are some candles lighting up the hallway. They look like they used to be part of the old architecture. Several doors lead to guest rooms. Aside from the rooms that you and Mr. Mora used, they don't look like they've been open for quite some time. Yeah, she's the only mage in the village, ignoring the fact that mages have invented teleportation. They did establish a teleportation circle, which implies some level of preparation and maintenance. Or that the killer could use a carriage. Presumably, witnesses would have seen the carriage. And also, hold that thought, Catnip. There's a door at the end of the hallway. Looks like it's seen some use recently. I tried to open the door, but it seems to be locked. Perhaps someone might have a key to open it. Oh, I bet I know who has it. You return to the cell that Celeste is being kept in. Prisoners are very sad. You do your best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you haven't had much practice blocking out this many people. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled down in a corner. As soon as she sees you, her dour mood seems to lift, if only for a moment. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert. There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion. Okay. Anyway, I came here to ask you some questions about the case. Right. Damn. I didn't expect to find artificery in a village like yours. Yeah. I bought it for my family to make their lives easier. But I think it just made things more complicated. Yeah. Without an arcane power cell, those lights aren't very useful. You're right, I should present my badge. Can you tell me more about this? Mage Blade. It's a spell that magically sharpens my sword so it can cut through plate armor. When would you even need a spell like that? When I'm fighting people with plate armor, obviously. Well, it's not just for plate armor. I can cut through all kinds of things with it. Trees, boulders, ballista, fortified gates. Cuts through most of those things like butter. You start to wonder what kind of life she led before this case. I'm sorry for freezing up like that. I almost lost us the trial. No, there's no need to apologize. You did great. It was only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed you down, who knows what would have happened. Maybe use an axe for the trees, but can you cut a tree in but a single swipe of your blade? Yes, it is I. The nobility were simply better. But I still don't understand, though. Oh, wait, shit, that was Celeste. But I still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Right. Its traces of magic were on the sword and the body. Magical traces are particles of magical residue that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. It's like the fingerprint of a gun. They only linger around for 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of when and where a spell is cast. You cast Mage Blade on your sword that day? I did. I usually cast it when I train in the morning. That explains why there was a trace on the sword, at least. Did the trace on my sword leave the magical trace on my dad's body? No, magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when physical contact is made. Really? What does that mean, then? Whatever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at that time. The magical trace on your sword was just an unlucky coincidence. I can't believe this. Could you tell me more about your father? Sorry, I know this must be difficult after everything that's happened. No, it's okay. If it helps you, I'll try my best to answer your questions. Were you two close? We were. I'm sure you know this by now, but I was adopted by him and my mom. But even though I didn't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. He loved me with all of his heart until what? Does this have something to do with the argument that they had? The argument. I'm sorry to say this, but I could hear your argument from my room that night. Could you tell me about what happened? For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. I'm not sure why, but if you even mentioned magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. So, I hid my magic from my family. But why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it. Ever since my tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my ability to fight. Most mages are in the nobility, so people will pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic. So that's why she's a mercenary. I mean, with Lord Pierce around as an example, I'd hate mages too. Yeah, fuck that guy. I know now. Learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. On that night, My dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. That's when he flew into another one of his rages. He shouted at me. He told me that I'd betrayed him and his family. I'm so sorry. Can't imagine how that must have felt. I deserved every bit of it. I knew how much he hated magic, but I learned to use it anyways. He showed me so much love. I just threw it all away. Don't say that. Sure, he still loved you. No. I could see it in his eyes. He hated me. And he died hating me. You feel a sharp pain in your chest as you see that thought. You have a heart attack and die. Game over. So, there's a locked room in the tavern. It's at the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but I just wanted to investigate it to make sure. A locked room at the end of the hallway? I think that's my room. Do you know how I could get in there? It's the only room in the tavern that I haven't investigated. You feel a suspicious gaze from Celeste. What's that look for? I'm your lawyer! I'm not gonna do anything weird! Sorry, you're right. Here, you can use this key to get inside. Alright, bye. However, you're startled when you notice someone else is already inside. I've already told you knights everything that I know. What more do you... Oh? Aren't you Celeste's attorney? I am. Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother. Jolene McCoy, occupation unemployed. I was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter. So this is Celeste's mother. I might be able to tell you more about Flintheart. Celeste has a mother? Yeah, they keep talking about her. I also am kind of surprised to see her, but they did keep talking about her. About that, do you mind if I ask some questions for my investigation? Of course. I'll do anything I can to help. I'm going to immediately ignore her and look at everything else. Oh my god, that's adorable. It's a painting of a woman with some sort of aquatic animal. Oh, I love that painting. Celeste brought it back from her travels. Supposedly, that woman is named Madeline Kipling. From what I've heard, she runs a wildlife sanctuary for endangered species. I think the animal in this painting is called a fakip. Celeste tells me she really likes them. The Axolotl is here, chat! That's interesting. You weren't aware these kinds of creatures existed. It's a table with several chairs. It must be used for entertaining guests. Doesn't look like it's seen much use, though. I like that he just said that out loud. It's a door leading to the upstairs hallway. Sir? Sir, are you alright? It's a fancy-looking bed. Sir! Celeste had it custom made. Wouldn't something like this be really expensive? It was. I was really surprised when she returned from her travels. Apparently she was making a lot of gold from her job as a mercenary. Wow, you and Flintheart must have been happy for her. We are, but I still wish she'd get a less dangerous job. Well, I have looked at the 4 things I could look at. I had to try. Now let's show her the badge. Damn. Fair enough. It is very funny that the game's like, can you have some fucking tact? Can you tell me more about this? Fuck, doesn't know about her own daughter's sword? Christ. Yeah, I'm not gonna show her that. If only I told Flintheart about Celeste's powers. Maybe we could have avoided all of this. You shouldn't torture yourself with hypotheticals. You did what you thought was right. I suppose you have a point. He knew about the magic. Now that's interesting. We have not. I'm gonna present everything to her. Such a shame that the bottle shattered. Flintheart was really looking forward to surprising Celeste. It was probably his last gift to her. It's too bad that it's become a part of the crime scene. Heard that you've been using artificery to light up your house. Yes, Celeste was insistent. Honestly, Flintheart and I didn't see the appeal. She was so excited to install it, we just couldn't say no. It is a bit of a problem, though. The machine that powers the lights always breaks. I'm still surprised that Celeste is a mercenary. It's not the first job I'd have picked to support my family. I think that it fits her. She had a habit of picking fights with people when she was a child. Oh, I didn't expect that. She may be adopted, but she's definitely Flintheart's daughter. Already looked at the key. Oh, I can talk to her. Right. Duh. Can you tell me about why your husband hated mages so much? I understand that most people dislike the nobility and associate magic with them. On that night, it's like he was at fear of Celeste specifically because she was a mage. You must have talked to Celeste. I wasn't there when their argument happened, but I can only imagine what he said to her. Do you know what happened to him? Why does he hate magic so much? Celeste doesn't know about this. But years ago, Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When I was a child, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce. Oh, shut up, Garrick! He was the son of a ruling noble at the time. Pierce? Isn't that bastard that was speaking to Steelwind earlier? We were all inseparable at that time. He'd always sneak into town to play with us against his family's wishes. Probably weren't too happy about that. He was quite rebellious back then. He's a completely different person now. But everything changed when Garrick began learning how to use magic. One day, we were playing together. He wanted to show off the spells that he'd learned. He was told not to use his magic without his instructor there. He was just too excited. He began casting his spells and something went horribly wrong. He lost control of his magic and fatally wounded Effie. We tried bringing her back into town, but at that time it was too late. He was already gone. I'm sorry. That must have been traumatizing for all of you. The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. House Pierce used their connections to cover up what happened. They even threatened Flintheart's family to keep him quiet. After that, the official story was that Effie had been mauled by a wolf. Man, and he really walked in and was like, as someone I used to call friend. Like, what the fuck, man? Also, I don't remember any of this from the demo. That's not surprising. The nobility seldom take responsibility for their actions, even for a mistake like that. Something changed in Flintheart after that. He began speaking out against the nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. Each night, more and more people began listening to his words and joining his cause. The number of people that he'd gotten under his banner was terrifying. There was even talk of an outright revolution against the kingdom. That might explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him. I knew how much danger he was putting himself in. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't convince him to stop. His attitude didn't even begin to change until we adopted Celeste. Can you tell me more about Celeste? How did she become a part of your family? I think this is going to be a long stream if we're going to finish the trial today, but I do think I can finish the trial today. It all happened many years ago, back when the McCoy Tavern was still open. We were closing one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. That baby was Celeste? No, it was someone else, so that was unrelated. But when we took her to the orphanage, we found Celeste. Yes, Flintheart and I always wanted a child. I thought that Celeste must have been a gift from the Scaled Lord. But one day I saw Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care, though. I loved her all the same. I'm sure Flintheart did, too. Wait, you knew that she was a mage all this time? I did. You haven't known her long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed, too. But I think that he didn't want to believe it. It's my fault. I should have forced him to see the truth. I spoke with Celeste earlier. He thinks that her father hated her because she was a mage. There's no way he would ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. No matter what he said to her that night, Nothing would ever change that. After seeing them together, you figured as much. Celeste was the world to him. When we adopted her, it was the first time in decades that I'd seen him so genuinely happy. They must have been really close. More than anything. You want to hear a story? Celeste had just returned from her travels. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. I think it was called lotus juice, or something strange like that. Well, Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here. He called in a bunch of favors with some of his revolutionary friends. But in the end, he was only able to get a single bottle of it. Is it really that rare? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region. Wait a minute. Lotus juice. Is this the bottle that Flintheart brought? Yeah, I already talked to her about this. Come on. Oh no. I was going to surprise her with it. I found the broken pieces next to Flintheart's... well, I found them in the dining area. Huh, that's strange. You've been keeping it in her room so she wouldn't find it. Really? When was the last time you saw it? Right before I left the house that night. It was right before their big argument. It wasn't just laying around in the bar. He decided to retrieve it after the argument. Alright, you think you've investigated everything you can for now. There's still one last thing you need to do. You ready yourself for one last conversation with Celeste. This was my complaint. And I didn't know if they'd changed it, but they didn't. This should happen at the end of the case. This is like Celeste's big moment in this case. And it happens halfway through. This should be like the case climax after we've done the trial, and she's like, yeah, you acquitted me, but my dad still hates me, and that fucking sucks, and you show her the bottle. But no, we do it now. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a great moment, and I'm still having a great time. I think this should have been at the end of the case. Oh, you're back. Did you forget something? Actually, there's one last thing I wanted to talk to you about. Oh? Earlier you said something that I just can't let go. You said that your father died hating you. Yeah, like Of the Devil does this. At the end of the prologue case of the Devil, there's a moment exactly like this. You said that your father died hating you. But after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true. Your father loved you, Celeste, even in his final moments. You desperately want to reach her. If she keeps believing that he hated her, that thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. You know that better than anyone. Oh no! Tyrion, was that a personal detail? He's just lying to make me feel better. It looks like it won't be that simple. You'll need to win an argument against her if you want her to see the truth. On the other hand, she might not get off because the justice system is corrupt and you really want to risk her going to her execution thinking her dad hated her. I just mean like pacing-wise. Yeah. God, that's such a sick animation. I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it. Oh, good night, Owl. Everyone knows that my father hated mages. He always hated magic. There's no reason behind it. That's new! I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason why your father hated magic so much. What? When Flintheart was a child, he had a sister. She was tragically killed by a mage decades ago. That's why he's had such an immense hatred for magic. My confidence! I never knew. That doesn't change anything. It's all the more reason for him to have hated me. It was selfish of me to learn magic. I knew how much he hated magic, but I still learned to use it anyway. We're 12.5 miles in the heat? Are you nuts? Get some water and go to bed! Magic killed someone that he loved. No wonder he was furious. Okay, No. Oh, yes! But you didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you? You learned it to save your family after your tavern was shut down. That's... You're a good person, Celeste. You did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that. Just shut up. What? Shut up! Just stop it! Whatever composure she had before was slowly breaking down. You weren't there! You didn't hear what he said to me! In his final moments, he can only think of how I betrayed him! I could see it in his eyes. There's no way he would ever forgive me. Objection! You're full of shit! Take a look at this photograph, Celeste. What? A shattered bottle? Wait. Is that a bottle of lotus juice? Do you know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn. What? Can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wyverngard. Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he could have it imported for you. What? He did that? Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything. That doesn't change anything. If he did all that for me, it was before he knew about my secret. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth. That's not true at all. What the hell would you know about him? You barely even knew him. How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe that he still loved me before he died? I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did. It's not just the fact that he bought the drink for you. It's also where the bottle was when it shattered. What do you mean? Your mother said that the bottle was stowed in her room before your argument. But I found the shattered bottle in the lobby, where his body was. I ran into him before, when I went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. That can only mean one thing. He went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended. What? Why would he have it? It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste! He was going to give you a gift to apologize for what he said to you. He was going to apologize? Father loved you, Celeste. And as tragic as it is, he was going to try to apologize to you before he was murdered. No, my confidence gauge. I don't like this. My daughter, working as a mercenary of all things. Come on, Dad. You know I can handle myself. I don't doubt it. But you still didn't have to risk your neck for our sakes. We closed the inn, Dad. We won't be able to survive unless I do this. Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter. We'll love you until the day we die. Dad? How could I ever think that... I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Dad! Celeste had barely been keeping it together throughout the whole argument. Her realization is finally causing her to break down. She begins crying loudly as she quickly embraces you. In this cold, dark place, she probably hasn't felt warmth of any kind in days. Caught off guard and feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions. Argument 1! Hey-oh! Are you feeling better? Yeah. I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. He looks at you and gives you a warm smile. It's probably the first time you've seen her genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started. Thank you. But is everything really going to be okay? I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. It doesn't matter who stands in my way. Even if they're a man, king, or god. They're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before? Oh. Please forget about that. Anyways, take some time to rest. The trial is going to resume soon. That, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what happened the night of the murder. You just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know what the prosecution has planned. Has Pierce told you all of the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them? Yes. I pride myself on my eidetic memory. Just so there are no misunderstandings, I do not approve of this. You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. There's no possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks Ruby tomorrow might pull tomorrow. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You asked, there are 10 slots. Alright, it's time. Hello, Cuthbert. Oh, hi, Miss Tamara. You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. Is it because this music sounds like it was straight lifted from Ace Attorney? I'm glad to see that you're finally getting used to things. So what did you find in your investigation? I might be chewing the scenery too much as him. I think my jaw's starting to hurt. There aren't a lot of clues that point to what actually happened. Yeah, I know a lot of details about the crime scene, but nothing about the crime itself. This means I'll have to rely solely on pointing out contradictions in the witnesses' testimonies. Being reactive to the prosecution's moves is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it was a miracle that you got the commander to cooperate with you at all. I can't believe he accidentally killed his friend and turned into this. Counterpoint. He killed his friend and then faced 0 consequences. Right. You almost forgot. Commander White appears to really have it out for Miss Tamara. Actually, I wanted to ask about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White? Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel. Let's go, Tyrion. Trial's about to start. You should go. The judge is waiting. Right. Another secret is left buried between you two. Yeah, fuck the nobility. Fuck these guys. Let's roast his ass. Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation. Yes, I personally saw to it that the investigation was conducted properly this time. I see. God, the judge's outfit is so lackluster. I mean, he's a judge. What were you expecting? He's got fantasy judge robes. I'm wearing a tuxedo. She'll tell us as soon as we win this case. Updated autopsy report? We might. I suppose that puts my mind at ease. At yesterday's trial, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, the defense tried to push the following narrative: that a third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. I was expecting a fancy collar at least. Honestly, you fitted perfectly. I do! I am stylish! However, the prosecution has discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account will clear up what actually happened. Interesting. It was my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous. Supposedly, this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. So that's her plan. But why would the witness change his mind like that? Did Steelwind persuade him? Or is something else happening here? Very well. Let's hear from this witness. See, this guy also wears a suit. I'm great. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name is Rice Reginald Rudolph. I'm chauffeur of the equine variety. Name Rice Rudolph. Occupation, changing my voice. Never given him a consistent voice, and we're not about to start now. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm unfamiliar with that profession. He means to say that he's a carriage driver. Oh, I see. In any case, it is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Rudolph appears to be writing something in a notebook. He writes with incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for maybe a second before he's filled an entire page. Mr. Rudolph, Are you writing the great American novel? We're in the middle of a court case here. Ah, forgive me. I was writing the great American novel. I was merely taking notes on the people in this room. Taking notes? The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses. I see. And I assume we will receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body? Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed, and I wrote down everything that I saw. What? That is quite the claim. If that's true, why did you choose to remain silent until now? We had initially concluded that the evidence alone was decisive enough. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for his testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial. There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimony from the start. Something else is happening here. Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night. A compulsion, you say? I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 1:28. I swear I got a time of death and it wasn't that. Or was it? No, the call came in at like 1:30. That was it. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There, I saw the defendant. I thought it was 1:25, but it could have been 1:30, but I don't have it written down! She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy and was channeling magic into her sword. She removed her sword from Flintheart's back as he slowly turned to face her. She stabbed him again from the front. She soon realized that I'd witnessed a heinous crime. He let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene. Well, I found like 3 contradictions in that statement, but I know which one I'm presenting. Incredible. If everything occurred as the witness described, then I see no room for debate. Of course, the evidence has always been irrefutable. Bitch! There are more holes in this evidence than a colander. Calm your tits! You don't remember seeing it when you left to look for Celeste, but it was pretty dark. Celeste, did you see this man that night? No? This is my first time meeting him. And I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern that night. So he has to be lying. Why wouldn't she just kill him instead of fleeing? I'd like to remind you, there's only one entrance and exit out of the tavern. How am I insulting a colander? Having holes is his job. Does that mean he's the one who killed my dad? No. Tries her best to hide it, but you can sense her restlessness. It's hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility. The defense may now begin their cross-examination. Yeah, I'll press. Who was the passenger in your carriage? Well... The identity of the passenger is irrelevant. The witness is the one who actually observed the crime as it occurred. If there were another person at the scene, they may also have crucial testimony. The passenger is under no obligation to testify before the court, and the current witness's account of events is more than adequate. I agree. I see no reason for Mr. Rudolph to disclose the identity of their client. The defense must present a more valid reason to do so. I don't need to, Your Honor. I just thought it would be funny, because I already saw the problem. You dumb bitch!
Objection!
You're full of shit! Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes. I could never forget such a grisly sight. The moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony is full of shit! What? You accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such an accusation can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificery devices that are powered by an arcane power cell. However, that same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room lights had no energy, and the room would have been pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Wait, I can explain. Well, you better fucking do it. There's no need, witness. You could easily have seen another source of light. Perhaps one of the McCoys lit a candle because of the blackout. The witness clearly described a source of blue light. A candle or a lantern wouldn't emit a color like that. Then the witness was clearly mistaken. The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact times that each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about such a clear and obvious detail? No, what the witness saw was clearly some form of magic. And due to the lack of power, it couldn't have been the artificery. It must have been an arcane spell. That's it. What is it, witness? I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please allow me to revise my testimony. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? If the witness wants to revise his testimony, I see no harm in obliging him. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? I'm gonna fucking skin him alive, Your Honor. If he thinks he saw something different, then it's only fair to hear him out. Don't be so hard on him. He's clearly being pressured by the nobility. I'll tear through each of his lies, no matter what he does. Ah, I see Halloran's been paying attention. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead to the contradiction because I've already spotted it instead of reading the dialogue. With pleasure.
Objection!
Objection! You're full of shit! Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? Of course not. Are you trying to say that I should have recognized Celeste's mage blade? No. I admit that you probably wouldn't know about mage blade. But that's exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? Mr. Rudolph, if you were aware of how mage blade works, then you would know the spell emits a yellow, radiant glow. Which means that the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been mage blade. This is ridiculous. I'll grant you that the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow, but what significance would such a minor detail have? I am spelling it out, you dumb bitch! It's extremely significant, Prosecutor Steelwind. If the witness did see a blue magical glow, then he must have witnessed another spell at the scene. Preposterous! You don't have any evidence to back up that claim. The blue light made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his notebook, and he specifically mentioned the color. There's no way he would be mistaken about something like that. Thank goodness all the magic is color-coded in this universe. We run it on D&D rules, it's hyper-specific. So what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene, casting a spell she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene? Well... Your Honor, the defense has no right to accuse the witness like this. Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you are found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted. Hey, Steelwind, are you busy after this? No, wait, please! Now that is quite enough of that. Garrick Pierce suddenly steps down from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. I guess he just shoved Rudolph out of the way. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one in the room moves to stop him. The bailiff looks to the judge nervously, but the judge just narrows his eyes and carefully watches Pierce. Pierce, meanwhile, shoves the oh fuck, he really did! Shoves the still flustered Rudolph off the stand and begins addressing the courtroom. What is he even doing here? I will not stand by when you harass my servant. Pierce, we discussed this. There is no need for you to take the stand. And what, pray tell, did they discuss? Nonsense. I have nothing to hide. And if you had done your job properly, I wouldn't have needed to intervene. For the first time, Steelman doesn't seem to have control of the situation. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Steelman? Miss Steelman. Who is this fucker? This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor. That is Lord Garrick Pierce to you, Stillman. I am the honorable heir to the Pierce noble house. In any case, I must apologize. I'm afraid that these misunderstandings are entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, Rudolph wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. It was me, Barry. I was the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous. What? Are you saying that you had Rudolph lie for you? I simply dictated to him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. It simply wouldn't do for a member of nobility to appear publicly in court. Lord Pierce, regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury. From the look on the judges' faces, you can easily tell he won't face any actual consequences. I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that. But I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crimes. Please let me testify as to what I saw that night. Very well, if it'll make you shut up faster. This is highly irregular, and I believe the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, know that this misconduct has hurt your credibility. Very well. That's fine, Your Honor. I never had any of that to begin with. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep, so I went on a leisurely carriage ride around Arcane. Translation: my freight metaphor is falling apart, and I want to attempt to put it back on track. Correct. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. That is when I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man twice with her sword. Garrick Pierce. He's a member of the nobility. That means he's probably a mage, right? He's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean? There's no doubt about it. He's the only person that could have left a trace of transmutation on the body. He has to be the mage we're looking for. Sorry. This must be a lot for you right now. Don't worry about me. Focus on taking him down. Do you have anything to say, you little bitch boy? That seems like a strange way to pass the time. Not that you believe him for a second. The witness's atrocities are beside the point. I love that she is roasting his ass. I'm guessing this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim. One would conclude that, yes. As we all know, both of them became quite loud during their argument. It's not unreasonable to say that the witness heard them from his carriage. If he was at the tavern entrance, that would mean he was here. Cool. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance. It would be quite dark considering that the lights weren't operational, even if my client were using Mageblade at the time. Of course, I'd forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. You used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I remember it clearly. I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. The same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought that Rudolph didn't witness the crime at all. If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. He must have made that detail part of his testimony earlier. That actually makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. Rudolph was so sure he saw a blue light, it would be strange if he was lying about that. But anyway, which spell did you use to illuminate the crime scene? It was the Conjure Light spell. Do you see the problem, chat? Let's fucking get his ass! Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like for his spell compendium to be added to the court record. Fuck you! I see no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I see Halloran's paying attention. I agree. The defense would need a stronger reason to requisition the witness's spell compendium. And no, Tyrion, the fact that he's a fuckhead isn't good enough. I'm sorry. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Ah, shut up. Okay. It's gotta be the map, right? Yeah, it's gotta be the map. Objection! You're full of shit! Lord Pierce, you said that you illuminated the scene from the tavern entrance, and you only took a single step into the building? Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. In that case, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If we take a look at this map, that would place you right here, where the W is. Am I correct? Of course I was. I do not know what you wish to achieve by having me repeat this fact. Arcane art. Transmutation. Well, I find it interesting that you illuminated the crime scene from all the way back there, considering that the Conjure Light only illuminates an area within 15 feet! What? The spell's range is irrelevant. We've already established that the victim would have been illuminated by Mageblade. During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly stated that he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he cast Conjure Light in the first place. However, Conjure Light doesn't work like a normal source of light. It only provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster, and no further. If he had stayed at the entrance, his spell wouldn't have done anything to help illuminate the scene. But what does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of the crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right where it happened! Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say that Lord Pierce was that close to where the murder occurred? How would that be possible? Well, there's only one way this scenario would make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flynn or McCoy! Hold on for a moment! This is absurd! I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room. And which spell would that be, Pierce? The name escapes me. I'm not sure which one it was now that I think about it. You idiot. Well, maybe we can figure it out together. When you relinquish your spell compendium to the cart! What? This is a clear violation of my privacy! Steelwind! Why aren't you objecting to this? If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed. Now lie in it. Steelwind, you treacherous! Shut your fucking mouth, you little bitch. That's enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. With everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. If you hadn't killed Flynn Hart, you wouldn't be in this situation either. Also true. Good job, Tyrion. We got his spell compendium. This case is as good as yours. Where is it? She didn't even try to stop you from taking his spell compendium. She wouldn't let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. She definitely still has something up her sleeve. Your Honor, I've looked at the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. Conjure Light is the only spell that he can cast that would shed a blue light. This renders his testimony and many of his statements false. You can practically hear Lord Pierce grinding his teeth. Your Honor, Lord Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flintheart McCoy. The defense argued that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant. I acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There is much more we need to learn. What? That's not how it works. We proved that there's reasonable doubt. That should be enough to acquit me, right? In a normal case, maybe. But it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide using magic. Unless we can unequivocally prove your innocence, the court will keep drawing out this case. What? But that's not fair! That's just how the system works. Our court system doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so the kingdom can save face. No. However, the court will be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is, until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a possible suspect.
Objection!
Ah, fuck. A possible suspect? The very idea of that is preposterous, Your Honor. Damn it. You knew she was planning something. Let's revisit the basic facts of the case, shall we? Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? All right. Spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. You've realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object.
Someone was not paying enough attention.
What? That can't be right.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwood. I couldn't have possibly committed the murder. I see. With that in mind, that would leave the defendant as the only possible killer.
But he was the only other mage there. He has to be the real murderer. But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that could affect a solid object. We can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic. Wait a minute. How did he do it then? She's right. How did he do it? There are traces of transmutation magic on the wound. Then Flintheart was definitely stabbed by something magical. But none of his transmutation spells can affect a steel blade. Does that mean he used something else?
The defense did cast some doubt on the witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not have possibly committed the murder. With that in mind...
Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the crime.
What are you on about? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. I don't know any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade.
He's right. Which can only mean one thing. You didn't use a metal blade, did you? What nonsense is this? The autopsy report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he have possibly committed the crime?
Yes, your claim seems quite contrary to the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Which spell did Lord Pierce use to commit murder? What spell could Lord Pierce have possibly used to kill the victim? God, his poker face is terrible. Yeah, it's almost like he doesn't actually need to put in any effort to, face zero consequences. Shape water into a blade. Yeah, it's almost like we saw him doing that at the very start of the game.
You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a sword. What?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert.
I'd like for the court to take a look at Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrett Pierce knows a seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a body of water and shape it to any complex shape he wants. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. A shape like a sword. What? No! Is it possible that he... What do you have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce?
What do I have to say?
Pierce's breathing becomes more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put in a corner like this. You can see his stress and frustration emanating through the eye of Horus. You have him now. Time for the finishing blow.
Oh, hell, the music! I'll tell you exactly what I have to say, you commoner. I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because that bastard child didn't know her place. She's just a peasant, yet she still learned the arcane arts. And look what happened. I saw the murder. I witnessed everything. The girl used her holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage.
So the murder...
This music is jamming, but I don't know what I'm presenting here.
Nope. So witnessed the murder, but didn't. For the evidence.
Shit! The map.
And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified that you only took a single step inside the inn. But you would have needed to be within 15 feet to see my client with Conjure Light.
This again? If you're going to keep treading on that one detail, then I admit it! I stepped further into the inn. I kept that detail out of my testimony. All because I knew you'd use it to cast suspicion on me! Lord Pierce.
But you didn't just keep that detail from your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury.
Fuck! No, I mean... Oh, you miserable wretch! That's so funny!
Oh, chat. Let's kill this son of a bitch. And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client had just finished committing a murder. Wouldn't she have noticed you? If you were that close, then you would have surely been close enough to apprehend her. So why didn't you? Don't you have a duty to your citizens?
Shut up! Shut your dirty peasant mouth! That woman was unarmed! I had no reason to put my life in danger! She was wielding a sword after the murder! I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword! My life was in danger!
But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body! How could she still be wielding her sword if she left it there?
Fuck! What? Oh, damn you! Damn you! Steelwind! Why aren't you saying anything?
What? Prosecutor Steelwind has lost her usual air of confidence. You find it strange, though. Even when you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual poise.
Lord Pierce, please pull yourself together. How can I remain calm when this charlatan is trying to frame me? This is a complete travesty of our justice system. I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. And what do I get instead? Slander from some lowly defense attorney.
You talk about justice, but you committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. Fuck! You don't care about justice. You just want to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shape liquid and you used it to impale Flintheart. You shoved my client's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? What?
Lord Pierce? My apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious.
What? Has he finally lost his mind?
The defense put forward an interesting theory.
But there's one problem with it. And what's that? Honestly, he would have had an easier time framing Celeste for murder if he'd been less involved in fixing the trial. Yeah, it's almost like he's stupid. I think you said it yourself.
You see, it would have been a perfect crime, because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with that frozen blade.
What? No! He's right! If he used an ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now. And that means
there would be nothing left of the murder weapon. You've spun quite the tale here today. But in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? You have nothing on me.
Isn't there anything we can do? You become quiet. Tyrion? Why isn't he saying anything? Is it really hopeless? But all it takes is one look at the expression on your face. Any worries she had instantly disappear. Because she realizes the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her.
What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you've lost. I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I will never let that happen again.
Naught can remain concealed.
What did I just do? Your head feels like it's about to burst. The pain is unbearable and overwhelming, but at the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity. As if you could see more than you could before.
I can't believe that peasant pushed me this far!
Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eye of Horus. But the sensation feels different from how it usually is. It's more intense and potent this time. It's almost as if you can do more than just read his surface-level thoughts.
Through all the trouble I went to, I can't believe that lawyer figured out the spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as if there's any evidence to prove that I used it. I'm lucky that old fool had that bottle of water with him.
Water from a bottle? Wait. A bottle?
Well then, as riveting as this has been, I believe it is time for me to take my leave.
Now wait a minute, Pierce.
What is it now, you wretch? I'll say it as many times as you need to hear. There is no evidence of a liquefied weapon at the crime scene.
You're right, Pierce. If you did use shaped liquid on a body of water, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely.
Oh! It seems you've finally gotten that fact through your thick head. Bravo.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Pierce. What if you didn't use shaped liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid?
What are you going on about?
Pierce, shaped liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. The shattered bottle contained the liquid that you cast your spell on, didn't it? You show him the picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice.
That bottle?
Pierce, I found the shattered bottle on the ground near the victim's body. I wonder what caused it to shatter. You must have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, the victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of this bottle, would we find traces of transmutation magic?
You little! That still proves nothing! So what if there are traces of magic on the shattered bottle?
You still don't have a murder weapon! I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So, what difference does that make? A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade of ice made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No, it can't be! I'd wondered why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we checked the outline of that trace, I bet we'd find a dried puddle of soda residue. That would prove that you used your magic on that soda. There's your murder weapon, Pierce! And that's checkmate! Bailiff, tell Orm to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find traces of magic is closing. When it dries, it leaves the residue behind, Catnip. Lock in. Yes, Aelrin, the magic residue. It was important all along. So we had our team search the crime scene for that soda puddle. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the dried soda lines up exactly with the outline of the trace of transmutation magic. We checked the broken bottle, too. There were traces of transmutation magic on it as well. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. I see. Thank you, Orm. Please escort Lord Pierce back to the stand. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? What do you think you've accomplished here today? Do you honestly think you can indict me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest echelons of our society. That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was a threat to society, and I did my civic duty by removing him. Fuck! Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell. Steelwind? First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. I suggest you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further. What? You can't be serious! Shut your insidious mouth! Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away. Yes, take him away at once! I can't believe it. We actually won! Tyrion, It's all she can do to hold back her tears. You don't need to say anything. Your face says it all. Thank you. You've more than exceeded my expectations for today. Miss Tamora, I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought that the case was shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around. It was just luck. If he had used water, we would have been done for. It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid he used. And you did it just by looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me. That's not exactly true. With Celeste there, you can't tell her about your new ability. You are all quite lively. There's no need for such hostility, though I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Taker. Wait, what did she mean by that? You glance at Miss Tamora, but when she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. She looks like she's focusing, almost as if to protect herself from a certain eye. I must admit, I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. However, your protege proved to be a worthy adversary. Thank you? Is this some kind of a game to you? You talk about trials as if there's some kind of competition. Your actions almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Our system operates by having two powers of opposition. When those powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory today was just our system working as intended. Working as intended. You know very well our system only exists to protect your people. I know. What? In any case,
It looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. What a strange girl. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh? What did you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper corridor of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they'll let anyone in if they have enough gold. Wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much money does Miss Tamura make? And so began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead, both literally and metaphorically. Regardless, I'll keep fighting on and get justice for every one of my clients. Episode end. It's interesting to say this, but Steelwind is an idealist, and that makes her fascinating. This feeling, I knew it. His radiant soul has finally awakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting for so long. I can't wait for this day when I can see his eyes draped in agony. Well, chat, that was Chapter 1 of Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Next week, we will begin Chapter 2. Is Chapter 2 out? This is not an episodically released game. All of the chapters are out. Or, more accurately, if it was released episodically, it released long enough ago that they're all out. But I do believe that it was just released all at once. So, for example, if I click New Game, I can select Case 2. So unlike Of the Devil, were I to stream that, I would not have to leave you waiting for the next chapter. We will be playing through the whole of Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. I wasn't sure how well a mystery game would stream. I knew Tyrion Cuthbert would work, because it's just Ace Attorney, but I was also considering playing Paradise Killer, which is a far more free-form murder mystery, and I wasn't certain how well that would stream. What was that next case name? The Walking Dead, don't worry about it. But that will be next week's problem. This week, I'm just glad I got to introduce all of you to this. I'm worrying about it. I told you not to do that. Stop it. Entire TV show about this. The D&D magic system does make for some interesting legal drama. I was going to ask Kaelin if you were familiar with Of the Devil, but you keep reblogging all of my Of the Devil posts, so I'm going to say you already know. I need a movie franchise. But yes, I have been quite... Kaelin, go play Of the Devil Chapter 0. It's free. Do it. It's like 2 hours. Just do it. You'll love it. It's good. If you liked this, you'll love Of the Devil. But anyway, next week, we'll begin the second case, which will probably not fit within a single stream the way the first case did. So we'll just have to wing it. But until then, this has been Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the... That has been Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. This has been Des Verf. And I will see you next Steam Cleaning Sunday.